All right, folks, welcome to the Matcherino Weekly Cup. We got some things to talk about, but number one being that resub train. You probably, and I'm hoping we're going to see a lot of resubs today because, again, today is the day. It was exactly 1 month ago in February where we had that crazy sub day. So a lot of 2-monthers hopefully going to be joining us for the cast. So everyone who subs today for like more than 2 months, you're great and you're awesome and we really do appreciate you. But the people who today sub for 2 months are the people who came for the hype train and stayed afterwards. And I think that's really exceptionally cool. So quick thank yous to Naznard, Volark, Eridez, Dinwit, Shamalius, and of course a brand new sub. What? Cody Lawson. Our subcast was going down, not up, but thank you Cody Lawson for the brand new sub hype. You're going to be subscriber 1,000. Oh, here we go for the fall off. 1,244. We've already lost about 6. But okay.
Oh no.
I know. Woo. See how bad that gets. Spawning here on the bottom left side of Orbital Shipyard. It is going to be the youngest Zerg player I've ever seen play this game. It is Reynor.
In the top right, is the red Protoss. He is ShoWTimE.
German Fantastico. Great Protoss player. And we'll see how he does in the matchup, because right now, PvZ has been under some of the most scrutiny. I don't think TVP at any point in HOTS was under as much scrutiny as ZVP is right now for Legacy of the Void. I'm saying
sure,
scrutiny, but just so everyone's aware, that's adult talk for balance whining bullshit.
Right, yeah. I think the problem was in Heart of the Swarm was that ZVP in my eyes was not very fun, but you could definitely argue that it was balanced. But you can also argue the same thing for Broodlord Infestor versus 2 base all lanes and Wings of Liberty. That was always what was so tricky about balancing that damn matchup.
Yeah. Well,
hate it.
Before we get too far into this, we're talking about balance or see any problems. Again, just remind everyone, type !Matcherino in chat. You can donate $1 to this tournament without even spending any of your own money. To increase the prize pool, all you got to do is go to Matcherino.com, use that code BTTV1, and it will generate $1. You don't even have to use your PayPal or link any information. It's just a simple enter the code, use it, and Matcherino says, hey, this was somebody who was watching our event. Let's put another $1 into the prize pool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. We already did it ourselves, and Olivia even did too. You can see everyone who contributed on the donor list.
The full transparency for this, too, is that one side of it is we want to get as much money for the players as possible. Let's be honest. That's BaseTradeTV in a nutshell. Who does that better than us? But secondly, Matcherino just wants people to use and get used to its website. That's what their goal is out of this. That's their return on their investment. So the more of you guys that use those promo codes, the happier they're going to be.
Yeah. So that's always been a cool system, and we've been working with them for a while, just here and there. But hopefully this will be a weekly thing, so we'll get super used to it. Yeah,
we got 2 weeklies locked and loaded, each for Sunday, and we'll see if this day works out. It is, of course, the first game of the first weekly. But we got a Stargate opening coming out behind this for ShoWTimE. I say opening, I just mean build. Because this is something that is unfortunately becoming a necessity. Phoenixes are obviously not the greatest units on the planet, but they are necessary in a lot of situations. Reynor, having scouted this immediately, the question is, will he abuse this?
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, the 3rd base is coming down, and there are a couple of lings on the way over, but I'm not sure that's enough to actually cancel the Nexus, even if they got a full surround. That Adept's helping out a little bit, and so is the Mothership Core, so it should just be the macro game.
Yeah.
As we see more drones from Reynor.
By the way, thank you, Proxent, as well, for joining us on the 2-month Subwatch train. It's like Overwatch, only sub, right? Something like that.
Yeah. Well, we have an Oracle finally coming out here after just a couple of Phoenix. Only 1 Phoenix, JK. So 1 Phoenix goes search for those Overlords, I guess, and then an Oracle are just trying to do some damage. But that Oracle shouldn't be able to do very much.
I like the SimCity out of ShoWTimE, too. It hasn't taken a lot, but it's helped us really well. Of course, the Mothership Core is finally out of juice, which kind of sucks if there's a little bit more coming, but that's where the Oracle becomes really nice, because it will easily deal with Lings.
Yeah, I mean, it's ideal for it to be back at home. He doesn't want to get some scouting done, but you might just have to keep it back at home if there's more Lings from across the map, and there are, but there's also starting to be more warp-ins for ShoWTimE, as his warp gate has finished up. He hasn't transformed his gateway yet, but he should, and he's just gathering that Adept count. Killing a couple of Overlords actually supply blocks Reynor.
That, and I didn't realize just how much Reynor had dedicated to trying to get some damage done. Look at that income graph. ShoWTimE is rocking and rolling. Well, these things have been kind of useless on this side of the map.
I'm not sure why Reynor, did it too. Like, it was, okay, the first, like, 10 or 12 I've ever made, like, okay, that's something that you can poke, and maybe if they're not prepared, you definitely get a cancel. That's nice. If you don't, that sucks.
Ooh.
But to get any more above that felt a little bit unnecessary, because he did see that it's not only a third base, but the third base is being saturated. Like, probes are actually going down to it. It wasn't a fake.
Yeah, so the Oracle staying at home got a lot of kills. They cleaned up the lings. That's always a good feeling. But this is, I'm looking at the resources lost. It was all of that for like one Zealot and a cancel on, I think it was like a pylon or something. I don't know how worth it that really was for Reynor. Because this opening, okay, it didn't get damage done, that's one thing. But the other part of it is, it really did put his own economy a little bit behind by doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's not at a time where it's obvious who's going to take a lead here, although Protoss getting away with the third base this easily and not getting any damage from the Lings is actually pretty good. Usually we see a one cancel, especially if it's like a Stargate opener, because there's not a lot to kill the Lings with unless they get an Oracle first and actually have it back on the other side of the map.
Another 2-month resub coming in. By the way, thank you, the Casual Gamer.
Woo!
Again, reminding everybody that the 2-month resubs today are extra special, only because it is from that particularly crazy day.
Yeah. Well, Hydra's Lurker Den coming in for Reynor. ShoWTimE just now getting up to his second Robo and Twilight Council, so actually perfectly timed out with his +1. That was kind of neato. Still gathering that Phoenix count too, because they're not only going to be helpful in the map presence and taking control of the map and actually scouting and all that. It's also going to be useful for picking up lurkers on the backside. It's also where the lurker or the Oracle is going to come in, is to actually get that revelation on all said lurkers, and that's really going to actually really help not only literally help you, but also peace of mind for the Protoss player, not to worry about keeping their observer alive, which commonly gets sniped.
Actually, that's kind of funny you bring that up. There's been so many instances of that recently. I feel it's been a lot less of the case where there wasn't enough Immortals or Archons or anything like that, and it was, oh, there's an army that can take this on, they just can't see it. Where's the Oracle?
Yeah.
Nice catching
Actually,
these Hydras, though.
ShoWTimE.
This is wonderful.
Yeah, he loses 2 Phoenixes for it, but I do think that is worth it.
Oh, yeah, he kills... How many Hydras just went down? 9 for 2?
Yeah.
That's a great trade.
He's been picking 2 at a time off, and that was just, that was great. That one swoop in right there. So certainly worth it. ShoWTimE is taking a good start to this game. His charge and +2 are trying to finish up before Reynor's good to go. And Reynor still has to wait for those lurkers to finish. So I think that ShoWTimE definitely has a good chance of taking this on. And actually, Reynor's the one that has to be a little careful here. He doesn't have a lot of buffer for these Hydralists, because it's not actually a very big army. And Reynor,
I think he's feeling a little bit of pressure to try and use those lings, but they're kind of destined to die here. Very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now, other side of the map, there is a Warp Prism, and this, I've been heralding this, I've been praising it, like the best Protoss players have been the ones getting away with Warp Prism play, and looks like ShoWTimE is going to get some of that into the natural base, because all the Lurkers, all the Hydras, even some of the Queens are on the front line looking to push. Back at home, there's nothing. It's charge lots. Oh, God. Charge lots with +1. This is going to be savage.
Reynor is just not at that usual mark in ZVP where it's just so far ahead in army supply, and it's about the Protoss barely hanging on. I mean, they've been even army supply or ShoWTimE's been in the lead, as he is right now, and taking down these Hydralisks is easy with charge lots.
Yep.
And they're +2. Reynor has to dedicate a lot of micro to actually keeping them alive.
Didn't even realize +2 finished in the middle of the combats. There's that. There's charge. There's the actual interaction here with the hatchery is going to go down. I mean, this was a kind of, you could argue, expensive investment out of ShoWTimE. But A, it's worth it, and B, all of this is his lead he gained from early on. Those resources lost still heavily in his favor.
Yeah. They took down a Hydras as well, a couple of Queens. It wasn't just the hatchery that he sacked the Zealots for. So, well, yeah, it's a lot of Zealots, and it's even more important in Legacy of the Void, as you usually don't have that much of a bank. It was certainly worth it. And ShoWTimE, I feel, is just going to, just be a wrecking ball over Reynor here. Reynor does not have a good composition. He started off with a battle that didn't actually happen, but if it had, he probably would have lost. ShoWTimE was already ready, and he's not advancing his tech to, that next stage. With only Hydra Lurker, and even that big of an army of that, I think that ShoWTimE should just roll over him.
Yeah, the what few lurkers there are, are just going to get Graviton beamed up, completely crowd control to remove from the fight. Reynor's got no chance to survive. Make your time.
Yeah. Now, Mass Hydras would do okay against Immortals purely, but there's Archons in there, there's charge lots.
GG.
That was never going to look very good.
All right, well, the first game goes to ShoWTimE in a very convincing manner. I do believe in Reynor to try and bring it back, but that first game did not look so hot for him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, it is loser's pick, so we'll get to see something else here in a moment. Notable names in the tournament, by the way. Again, we kind of went over some of the people in the channel, but the brackets weren't finished at the time, and I just got to give a shout out. We got Mana playing today, Beastyqt, ShoWTimE, and Reynor that we're casting now. Winner plays Beasty. Actually, this is gonna be a great bracket to follow. Going for Banda, Lily Kanine, Tang, Bofanik, obviously, Guru, fucking Guru, man. EJK, I think this, and Revolver. Actually, we may have a Guru Revolver rematch in round 4 potentially.
Oh shit.
Yeah, a lot of good matches set up for today. Very excited about it. Now I'm probably gonna break things because I need to twist my monitor around and fix a loose cable. So
we're going to be going on to Prion passes.
Okay. Also, I really want to get a new monitor. I put a tweet out. If anyone has recommendations, please let me know. Because my monitors are fairly old, and while 1080p is not bad, and I don't mind, I've unfortunately got a lot of mess on them I can't clean up. And what I mean by that is just sneezing a lot. And apparently, well, it's not so bad. It's not like my screen is covered in spackle, but like, you know, it's just one of those things where, you know what, like, this thing's 3 years old. There's probably something new. It doesn't even have. I wanted to get desk mounts for these, but it's so old it doesn't actually have the capability to screw on in the back to the desk mount. So again, there's a lot of reasons for getting a new monitor. So if anyone has suggestions, I would love to hear them. We're gonna hop into Prion Terraces, and we'll see you guys soon. Alright, we got to kick off this game with a little bit of love out going out to Wardy. He just hosted our stream. I think he was casting Go for StarCraft earlier, actually. So thank you so much, Wardy. And hello to any and all of Wardy's viewers. You're watching the Matcherino Weekly Cup #1. Make sure to come join us here on our Twitch chat so you can get all the bot commands and let you know how to help increase the prize pool to this wonderful tournament. But, Subwatch update, guys. 1,240 and still going down. But that's okay, because it's actually not a depressing thing. Like, I think a lot of people should and would be sad about seeing their sub count go down, but I'm just still, like, believe it or not, like a month later, still so happy that it went up in the first place, and I knew that this was all sort of borrowed time, quote unquote. So I'm really curious to see where this ends up at the end of the day, for science more than anything else. But spawning here on the top left side of Prion Terraces on this gold mineral based map, it is going to be the pink Zerg player, Reynor.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, he is ShoWTimE.
Did that get scouted by the drone? Oh, it's just blocking.
It just, yeah, it's blocking it out. Like, he called the 3 hatch before pool on this map, and it still happens. So this is the 3rd hatch before pool, but it's not at the gold, which is, you know, obviously better for ShoWTimE.
Oh my gosh, I just realized you could... Okay, so theoretically, the idea is that with gold minerals, right, you need less workers to obtain the same saturation as a regular base, thus kind of freeing you up and having it saturate faster, right? You could actually make a cheesy map with gold-based minerals being the theme and, like, yellow for cheese, all, like, with this tile set. And I wonder what that would look like if you made it a very intentionally smaller map with gold-based minerals in the main. I'm not saying this is good or balanced, and no one should make this map. This is a terrible idea. But I do wonder, like, how would those games look? Would it be a lot of really early pools and cheeses and gateways?
I don't know.
Because while it's not as insane, that is, again, like a sort of trickle-down idea for what the gold base and the natural does. Whether you're going for 3 hatch like Reynor's done here, or just a regular base with ShoWTimE, the nice thing is you need less workers to get your army up faster. And I think gold minerals, more than anything else, is, yeah, that time saving is a lot more powerful than supply saving or anything like that.
Yeah. It's always like these interesting experiments. I was actually, since I was talking about maps, as I said, for like an hour and a half, I was also talking about like the Brood War maps. It always, like, you know, you heard about like island maps, for instance, in Brood War tournaments, and I was like, you know what the WCG was good for? Because now it's dead, right? Like, it doesn't exist anymore. Was you could just give them all the dumb maps and then be like, here, experiment with those. Because that was like, it was like the least like prestigious tournament, but people still wanted to play because it was money. But like, it just always felt like no one really cared, so you could just make everyone test it on that tournament.
That's kind of, it reminds me a little bit, sad to say, of like the Team Liquid map contest too. You'd have people like partying win every single one, but because he didn't take it seriously and would just blink all in every single map, and because partying was good at blink, he would win, not because he was good at said maps.
Yeah.
A little bit awkward. He does manage to get the block off on that wall. Just want to point out how unlikely that is to happen, considering we watch like several adepts sit in a wall and still not be enough to block out lings in most situations.
It's pro. And this is where, like, this kind of happened last game, where he gets lings, and I'm not sure what he's going to do with said lings. There's no evolution chamber for drops. It's just, like, 30 speedlings gonna try and crack a wall. I mean, our ShoWTimE goes into the main, or for the third right now. Like, obviously that will be canceled, and, like, good job for all those lings, but otherwise it's not gonna happen yet.
You know, though, I really like, if it's not Phoenix play, I really like the Stargates, though, for this. Because double pumping oracles or void rays, I mean, lings are just going to be a joke.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. The lings are actually going to tango with a couple of adepts, so actually this is what the lings are perfect for. ShoWTimE making a mistake here when guessing that there's going to be a lot of droning going on, and it was tons of lings. So the adepts caught off guard, all of them die, and now of course he knows that he can't take a third base. If he had those, like, you know, in a corner behind the mineral lines, then that's what happened on Orbital Shipyard. He was fine taking a third. Now he's really going to have to hold off on it. So the double Stargate was, like, immediately scouted, by the way. That overload's been there.
If Reynor hadn't done this in the first game, I would have been like, oh, this is such cool intuition for the map. You're playing that sort of mind game. Like, you show the 3 hatcheries, so your opponent does assume you're droning, but really you get those lings out. But the fact that he did this in the first game just kind of says, like, okay, this might just be more a little bit luck and a little bit of good control for the happenstance rather than sick planning. Either way, we have queens marching across the map. They're going to help tear down that wall. That's quite a few queens, no less. 6 in total coming down the middle. And he is looking to break this wall. He is looking all in this. There's roaches coming up behind this. It's all kinds of awkward.
It really, yeah. Well, it's scouted. ShoWTimE.
I look at this, I'm like, why not a Nidus Worm?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess because you never go up to layer with this.
That's true. Alright, so the Roaches are going to add a little bit of power behind this, because what I imagine for Reynor with the gas he's banking is he's not looking to stick just on Roaches. We're going to see Ravagers come out of that. Ravagers are so good at tearing down buildings, so good at tearing down walls. A couple of the very slow, errant queens get caught in the middle of the map. Still 6 on the front lines. That was plenty.
It's scary, but ShoWTimE, actually, with the amount of Phoenix he's going to have, with 2 at a time, he's going up to 10 right now, for instance. Like, eventually he'll be able to crowd control at least most of the queens and still probably kill them. I mean, they're, you know...
Well, that's the question, because the Transfuse is going to really throw that off.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. There's a lot of adepts on the ground, too. Like, ShoWTimE, he was not playing greedy. It sucks that he really lost all those adepts in the middle of the map, but he still was going for this 2 Stargate build that was going to hold off his third anyways, so... It's not like the third's done and he has to try and protect it. It was never built, and Reynor's even looking for it right now, or trying to hide the lings, either one. It's just it sucks that ShoWTimE has to hold off on it for so much, but he knows seeing those queens walk across the map, that's an all-in. Like the same time that he's holding off on a third base, Reynor's been holding off on droning.
Yeah.
He's on even workers for some time, and now it's starting to pump up.
The Transfuse is not bad. He has to actually lift so many queens, he doesn't have the damage. I mean, that's a lot of Phoenix. 12 Phoenix is no number to ignore in this situation, but this has been enough to scare Reynor back. And I don't know how the dynamic of this is going to work, because for Reynor, what sucks is, like, he didn't go for layer, as you said. This is a tech that stays on hatchery tech. So there's not going to be infestors, or more or less vipers, or anything like that anytime soon. So ShoWTimE is going to get away with these Phoenix in the silliest of ways.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the spore crawlers, you know, they're built like 1, and then he realized, oh shit, that's a lot of queens. Started building more, but they were a little too late. And even with 3 spore crawlers, like, this is enough Phoenix to, even if you lose 1, it'd still be worth, like, the amount of drones they can pick up.
So some lings to get through the wall on the other side of the map, but not going to matter. They don't even get a single probe kill by the looks of it. I was going to comment, though, the creep spread between the bases is so bad. If he needs 1 tumor connecting all 3 of these bases, because he's not going to be able to maneuver these queens around to respond at all.
Yeah. Yep. It's just going to be constant losses for Reynor here. And surprisingly, like, this is... You know, we were talking about, like, Protoss versus Zerg and the state of, you know, balance or not, and kind of went off of that topic because it's heated. But this is the first time I've seen a Zerg actually look kind of just straight up lost versus a Protoss. I mean, sometimes Protoss can throw out sneaky, cheesy things, but...
Well, I find it really strange, not just that, okay, this is some random Zerg player, but this is Reynor. We saw him play really well recently, so it does kind of feel like maybe this is an off day for him, or he's just, maybe ShoWTimE, it's the Masa dynamic, you know?
Maybe.
There's so many good players in North America that died of Masa for no good reason other than it's Masa, but,
right?
You know, maybe ShoWTimE's got Reynor's number. I don't know.
Reynor was playing in most of these DBZs that we saw him win, too. So maybe he actually was not very good at versus Protoss. Like, There's got to be a couple of Zergs that are like, I don't know how to deal with Protoss.
There's enough Zergs that were good at Protoss because they knocked them all out of the tournament.
Yeah, right? Exactly. I mean, it also might just be that he's experimenting with new things. I don't know what his plan is or what his win record is. But certainly this all-in, for instance, like, who goes this all-in and then happens to meet someone who went for, like, double Stargate? Like, I'm sure this all-in that he was setting up worked against people who were doing any other different build. But last game is more where I was kind of, like, questioning, like, this does not look like someone who's very confident in the matchup because it just looks standard enough, but he just lost out straight up, like, macro-wise.
Well, I thought it was going to be double pumped just pure immortal, but we have Disruptors coming up next, and ShoWTimE really just does have a great army. I do want to point out that we are having a little bit of issues with Twitch. I've dropped no frames, but apparently the broadcast has stopped and started again a couple of times. People are saying there's issues with chat, so if you guys can hear us, just hopefully you can enjoy the show, and hopefully the issues won't last for too long. We had some problems yesterday, too. Not just us, I mean Twitch, but I also want to update that we have a couple of new donors for the Matcherino prize pool, Zymergo.
Woohoo!
Rames is sniping that first place spot from Part 2 with a $6 donation, Part 2 with $5. And of course, the overall prize pool for this tournament is now at $83. But of course, you guys can help increase this. We at BaseTradeTV guarantee there will be at least $100. Even if we don't raise $100, there will be at least $100 paid out by the end of the day. But we want you guys to get on the website. While we're waiting for this fight to go down, if you're live with us in Twitch chat, type !Matcherino. It'll link you to where to go. Use promo code BTTV1, and you can add $1 to the prize pool without adding any of your own money, without providing any PayPal information whatsoever. You just do it on their behalf because you use their website, and that's their way of saying thank you.
Neato burrito.
It's cool. I really like it. It was really fun too because I think it was specifically TLO Marine Lord. It was like that extra hype day where we just had like so many donations for them coming in.
Yeah. Everyone was still. Thank you for the 2-month resub.
Oh man.
Still on that watch.
I think I was gonna update it every half hour. I think I'm just gonna update it every hour. But that number is still going down despite these resubs. We love you guys. Thank you so much. The Ravagers are trying so desperately, and if they lucked out, if ShoWTimE stopped paying attention for a moment, like these Phoenix clumped up so badly, they would die. All of them would die. But we're no longer at the stage of the game where the Phoenix are the threat. They have been the primary threat for so long. But now it's the ground army. These Disruptors, we've all seen it on stream. One Disruptor shot kills like 4 Ravagers and it looks ridiculous because of the corpses flying everywhere. I mean, the splash damage from these things is seriously insane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's getting to that count too where it's like inevitably one of them is going to get like a really good hit.
Did you say count?
So, here's the start to the fights. But actually, with it's such a lack of actual roaches. They're all Ravagers.
Right.
The Immortals really aren't punching through anything.
Well, actually, the Queens are going to be the buffer for this, which is funny because the Queens with their transfuses and their incredibly high health pool, these are actually great for what they need to be. If he lands all the transfuses and he's nailing these transfuses, Reynor doesn't lose any Queens initially, but here comes the Disruptors. They got something to say. TIL Queens are one of like 2 units that can take hits from Disruptors and live.
Yeah. I think there was an opportunity for ShoWTimE to take a couple of them down as the other, most of the army would have backed off, but oh well. War Prism is going to try and do some serious damage. There's actually a ton of Spore Crawlers thanks to those Phoenixes, so whoopsie.
Meanwhile, other side of the map, we'll ignore the harass for now because the big fight's going down. We see some okay splits out of Reynor, but it is still hard to dodge those shots.
Going?
To Nowheresville, that's where. Population,
they're supposed to be transfusing, and they're like, nope. Now they're all gonna die. Like, there's no retreat with Queens. I don't know what that was. I'm not saying that they would have made the army win, because the army actually got, like, utterly obliterated. Like, look how much army is left over for ShoWTimE.
There was so little actual auto attacks going on in that fight. There was all the Disruptors. Like, the Disruptors, and more Disruptors.
Yeah, that was... the army supply isn't that bad, but it is just all inferior units from Reynor, so 20 supply is actually much worse than it sounds, and he has no lurkers to fall back to, only Lurker Den finishing up now. Even if he did, that's where the Phoenixes come in, and...
Oof! Saw those coming. 2 more on the way. Reynor, the problem is even on creep, it's really hard to dodge those hits. So it's not like Reynor is playing like garbage or anything. These units are just really hard to... Like, even the best players. Pult's like the only guy we see actually do it well. Out of hundreds of players, Pult's the only one who's got this Disruptor thing figured out.
Yeah. A couple of Disruptors to go down to the Corrosive Biles, but it's still a better army for ShoWTimE. And now they got the rest of the army with that. Doubling the army supply. ShoWTimE does take the 2-0.
All right, congratulations to ShoWTimE. Thank you, Ben Lights. I don't know if we shouted him out, but just make sure to do that here at the end of the game because we do appreciate that resub. And, of course, that will conclude the first series today. But there's a lot. This is a whole tournament. This isn't like best of 3 show matches. And the winner of this will actually go on to fight against what we're assuming is Beastyqt, which I think ShoWTimE versus Beastie would be a fantastic match. Alternatively, on top of actually, Zombie, we have to write this bracket out because look at this, right? I'm going to put this on stream.
Yeah.
So we cast the first series. That's okay, whatever. You guys may or may not have liked it, but look what's coming. As we advance forward, Beastie or Spellsinger, whoever, versus ShoWTimE. Cool. Winner versus likely Mana. I mean, there's a really good bracket here to ride out, and we are going to continue casting, I think, this top half of the bracket. Another new sub or resub coming in. I don't want to shout this one out.
Oh, God, what is it? Hold on. Oh, Referatu.
I love this guy because he subbed to the channel not realizing that I had pre-banned that name. You can't type Referatu in chat. You can't type Referatu, Sprinkler, man. So many words we've had to ban this year. Damn. But okay, we're going to go to our first commercial break of the day. I would like to show you guys one more time how this Matcherino thing works, though, before we go to this break. So, again, keep in mind, as I say this, you don't have to actually use any of your own money. That's the best part about this. You don't have to provide any PayPal information. You log in here in the top right with your Twitch account, and you go to Donate. You type BTTV1, and they will generate $1 on your behalf out of their pockets. Now, I can't hit donate because I already did this, but gotta give some love to Saldus Dub. As I checked this, the prize pool's already at $125. Saldus Dub sniping that first place spot, demolishing it with a $21 donation. Thank you so much, sir. But yeah, you guys can see all the donations that are coming in, all the people who are actually taking the time to do this. Another enjoyable tournament, Kaz on BTTV. Thank you, Matcherino. Thank you, sir, for the message. But yeah, so get on this, guys. And of course, if I want to really put everyone's mind at ease here, 100% of the money from this is going to go to the players. Normally, Matcherino takes a small cut. There's fees, this, that, and the other. But we've... oh, there's no map mod for that. So good.
I know, because it's game number 3.
Oh. Okay, I didn't realize we're jumping to another game. Then we'll hold the ads. But the point of me bringing all this up is, again, like Matcherino, we've worked with them before. This isn't like a sketchy thing. We've done so many events with them at this point, and they always help make the most go to the players. And that's what we're trying to do on BaseTradeTV. Fuck, as I'm saying this, we have another donation coming in. A bunch of people starting to use those codes. Up to $130 now for the prize pool of this tournament. It's awesome. But we're going back to Prion. It's another gold map. Beastie versus Spellsinger. We'll see you guys in a sec. So, Zangrab, as she mentioned before getting into the game, this is game number 3. We didn't cast game 1 or 2, and I'm just putting that for the sake of odds. But spawning here in the top left to determine which of these two players goes on to fight against ShoWTimE, it is going to be the Teal Protoss from Nuit Blanche, Spellsinger.
In the bottom right, as the pink Terran, he is Beastyqt.
Oh my god, I just realized Olivia's a scumbag. She did it again.
What? Oh, all the Protoss
are fighting each other!
Oh my
Holy
God.
moly, what are you doing?
How did we not notice this?
I don't think she... Obviously, you know, she, as well as we, don't memorize most of the players. It's coincidence, guys, because we do randomize a lot of the seating. There's some seating for players that we know and recognize, but for the most part, it just kind of randomizes.
You know, technically, Caliber, defaults to Protoss. He's not playing random.
That's true. Thank you, SC2 Chimera, for the 2-month resub, and would like to remind everybody as we hop into this game that this is another example of what we do at BaseTradeTV, and I really want to drive this home. For those who use ad block and other things, we really only play commercials when necessary and at a minimum. I know some people get upset because sometimes there's a lot of delays, and when there's delays, why not play ads? But we chose to cast another game instead of sitting through 2 minutes of commercials and then waiting around for 14 minutes because we love StarCraft and we love you guys. So maybe consider, knowing that we're responsible with what we do, consider disabling our ad block.
Of course, we thought about going into this one if BCPU won, it was ShoWTimE, so it just timed out really coincidentally that they got a game. I asked, and BCPU was nice enough to ask us if we needed an invite.
Awesome. Harry Pun, by the way, with a 2-month resub, continuing with the redemption of subscribers. Apparently, the code has been used up. So that we've had this problem before with Matcherino, where the codes get used up so quickly because you guys are so awesome. They don't have other ones ready to go immediately. We'll talk to them and we'll poke to them about it, but I think the thing is Matcherino does stuff with Overwatch and other people on StarCraft, but we're the only ones that seem to use up the codes so goddamn quickly. So I don't think they expect 100 people to use them up within the first half an hour of casting. So I'll message the Matcherino folks, guys. We'll see if we can get some more coupon codes made up. So big love to everyone for helping use all the codes and get this already up to $174. Terminator 101 takes the top donation spot away from Solid as Dub, by the way, with a $41 donation. So this weekly cup is already up to $174, and this is what I want to see with more. Like, this is what I love. Matcherino helps us make more money for the players.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. Of course, the way that this is going to go, then the prize pool is a little bit wonkier, right? Like, it's the default has been set up on challenge, and this is what everyone signed up for. But by the time we get to the semis and the finals, like, suddenly 10% for 4th and 3rd place is going to actually be pretty, like, neato money if it keeps going like this.
I mean, for us at BaseTradeTV, you know, we get $100 from Corsair to put on the Corsair Cup. Great, that's cool. But there's not really a lot of option to do crowdfunding beyond that. I like what Matcherino does, because if it's good games, people are going to keep donating more money. If it's bad games, then we'll know that the games aren't worth any money at all, type thing. So it's always really cool to see that aspect of it.
Yep. So this game has gotten to at least some more interesting points. So we had an Adept Scout, and that was basically all that's really happened. Spellsinger is going for Blink, interestingly enough, and 4 gateways. So they're going to apply maybe a little bit of pressure and at least take that map control for a little bit of time. Beastyqt still has to wait for his stim and his medevacs, but he is going for this kind of like midway build, so not really greedy, but not a ton of units, and actually getting medevacs at a pretty decent time.
I guess Olivia says, I didn't do shit. Well, maybe you should do your job, Olivia. Then we wouldn't have this problem. The fucking thanks I get for doing this shit. Hey, woman, you get paid. Please. You're one of the few admins in the universe that get paid to do this, man. No, we love Olivia. I know she doesn't do this on purpose. We just like to tease, because it's funny, because the thing is that we always talk about this. It's ZVZ finals all the time because all the Protoss get knocked out or the Terran get knocked out, and it's definitely not something done on purpose. But it's just funny how often a coincidence happens.
Yeah, we'll see. We do have our Widowmine drop coming out here, but the observer was right there, so hopefully Spellsinger saw that. It is 1-1, as we stated in the beginning of the game, so, no, that Beastyqt is not, automatically going to win this. Spellsinger obviously took a game already, don't know how, but he's looking pretty solid. His 3rd base is coming down now, and no risk of losing that to the Widowmines. It might be worth it for Beastyqt to maybe plant 1 Widowmine, but he's going to keep all 4 for that natural, where the units are already positioned.
I mean, Widowmines can be devastating. I got to use them against Jesse recently, if you guys saw on the stream. But for the most part, when it comes to pro play, what I really like about Widowmines is less that it's like, oh my god, you got that one magic hit, but a lot more that you got good scouting with the drop, which Beastie kind of needs. So he's going to come in here, drop the first 2 Widowmines, not too bad. Each of these causing the probes to scatter. Meanwhile, goes towards the main. There's a cannon over here, so this isn't going to be too much damage.
It's overcharge.
Yeah.
That really takes it down.
So the Widowmine hit's not that great. He could save these if he wants to be risky, but I think keeping the medevac alive is going to be greater than any amount of Widowmine hits he could get here. Spellsinger, sorry. I keep going for Slinger too, right?
He does have some excellent coverage of the map, so he's missing a little bit on the left side, so that's why he didn't see these Liberators, I think. The Observer was finally moved. Okay, well, it moved a little bit. Maybe he saw them. But the right side, he has a Zelnaga, he has Observer, a Pylon, Observer's in the middle too. I actually like the way that he's covering the map. He's just missing a unit on the second one, and he would actually have full map cover.
This is actually great vision. To just see the drops coming in is one thing, because that's where we see a lot of Terran players start picking off Protoss. When they have to start splitting too much and they start splitting too thin, then they can't take on the individual armies. There's some instances too where that backfires on Terran and you watch Protoss defend completely, and it's a joke but in this sort of instance, I love that Spellsingers at least can have the information, because we talk about this consistently. I think we bring it up most when we cast Mana, for example, but information is key, and knowing where these attacks come from, very important to having your army pre-positioned. Now, the gold base is obviously going to be the point of contention, and BC very intentionally didn't use these Liberators. I don't think you want to reveal that they were in play. So the Blink Stalker's going to have to dive underneath them, and that's where the Marauders and the Marines are going to tear him a new Stalker bed hole.
Oh god. So it goes to the Liberator, which wasn't necessarily a bad idea, but then there was no escape from the bio, and he doesn't even take down both Liberators, so that was a pretty bad start. Still has a decent army supply, however, and now fighting away from the Liberator. Beastyqt is one that has to be a little bit more careful. There's the Blinking again, but he just keeps, like, it's not even necessarily focus firing, although I think Beastyqt is a little bit on the Stalkers. It's just the Stalkers are making them such, obvious targets when they blink in like that.
Yeah.
And Beastyqt just took a huge lead in arm supply with that fight.
By the way, I realize there's a bit of a resub train going on, guys. We love you, but this fight heated pretty quickly. And this could be the end of the game as BC starts heading up towards the main. There's just not a lot of army supply for Spellsinger. Well, he's got that +1/+1 upgrade, and that's nice. It's not a situation where there's 40 charge lots waiting to slice and dice the bio. In fact, the Mothership Core on the main goes down, full energy, no photon overcharges over here. 2 Widow Mines going to head towards the ramp and make sure no reinforcements come up here to the main. And this is, like, Beasty's got this on lockdown.
I think he does. It would have been cool to see Spellsinger play a PvP against ShoWTimE, actually. I was thinking about that, like, what if he wins? But Beastyqt has been doing really well. He won the G2A Cup, was it?
BC, yeah, versus Tails.
Yeah. So he's been actually looking pretty good. Actually, in that match, in that tournament, too, he almost fell out. He was 1-1 with another Protoss, I believe, but barely brought it back. So maybe same thing's going to happen here. He hopes.
I don't know. The Adeptor Ras, I like that he's been active at least, not just kind of dying and wallowing in shame, but this Nexus is going to go down to the Marines. That's a base that was very important. He's lost so much to it. Mothership Core going to go down right away. That Widowmine shot was disgusting. And
yeah, this is definitely a game.
BC took losses. The worker count is similar, which is kind of funny, but it is 4 bases to 2, and not even really 2. It's more like 1 and then 4 mineral patches.
Yeah. Yep, and of course the Mulehammer went down. That's the 4th base, so the worker count's not really what it seems. The upgrades are at least even, and Spellsinger's trying to get that +2 armor, but
GG.
There we go.
This means we are going to get Beastyqt versus ShoWTimE coming up next on stream, guys. The TVP Best of 3 continues. So I want to let you know we've contacted the guy from Matcherino. We've asked him if he could make like some more codes. We don't have a response right now, but hopefully we'll get one soon. But it's super sick. We're like not even to an hour of casting, and we've already went from $0 to, as I'm speaking, someone else donates $194. Mont 3 Core and Lord Asium both donate $10 to the prize pool each. That's fucking awesome.
Whoop.
So yeah, this tournament's now worth just shy of $200. And again, reminding everybody that with the way we work with Matcherino, our agreement was, like, we don't ask for casting fees or anything like that, so long as they pay the players 100% and no bullshit fees get taken. So we're going to go to a small break, because we didn't take one before. It's just 2 minutes of commercials. When we come back, it's going to be Beasty versus ShoWTimE. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon.